have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones. Walked in the door. This is not the other guest. This is a wonderful blessings from God to bring this young lady in on the show today. And so, once again, the Talk Beat Jones, we do it like no one else is able to do. This young lady, I'm going to let her introduce herself. But before I do that, I want to let everyone know that the Talk Beat Jones, we're on the air every Wednesday live from 10 a.m. to 11. We have a repeat broadcast on Sunday from 4 to p.m., from 4 to 5 p.m., and of course, that's on 15.2. But of course, we're here live on the R.J. Watkins page where we go all around the world, and folks are able to watch and listen and participate. How do you participate? We're going to put those numbers on the screen so that in case you want to know in the future, how can you contact and watch and call in with the program. And while we're doing that, I want to introduce this young lady, let you introduce yourself, let the world know who you are and what you're about.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Mikela, and I am a recently graduated.
A recent graduate.
Yes, recent graduate from Southern New Hampshire University, obtaining a master's degree in business.
What?
With the concentration in entrepreneurship. So
that's why you're here.
Yes, so I want to be a business owner one day.
And family, that's why this young lady is sitting in this seat, because you see, WHPR, we introduce you to our future. We introduce you to our future. And it's so important as we're going through the continued uplifting and respect and the progression of women and the power that they are receiving and the power that they're reaching to have and the control that they're reaching to bring to us from their perspective, our perspective, that is family. So this young lady is our future. And tell me, why did you pursue those particular degrees or interests in school?
My interest in school, wow.
Yeah, stay with that. See, this is the first time she's done this, family.
Yeah, this is the first time.
That's all right. You'll be back because I'm going to have you here.
Okay. Well, my interest in school after high school, I always wanted to push myself more. I always had that drive, that initiative to continue on and pursue a specific path of life. So with my interest in photography and writing, as well as drawing, I always wanted to combine those interests and hobbies into one business area. And so with the skills and experience that I have obtained from SNHU as well as Wayne State, because I have also got my bachelor's degree in journalism, I always wanted to combine those hobbies and interests that I have into a more integrated business field, but also providing that, I would say, that different type of twist to what news is and what underreported or not so reported stories that are not covered in the major news outlets, but also the minor news outlets.
Off the grid.
Yes.
Things that's off the grid.
Yes.
You want to give it light.
Yes. Shine light, give voice to the voiceless, give hope to the hopeless, things of that nature.
Well, family, I want you to give you a little hint. I've got, as I mentioned to you, the truth coming to this station today, the truth coming to the world today, the truth that will be coming to your airways. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Yvette Anderson.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. We are so excited. We are so excited. She is here. We just spoke your name, and God is so good because he reached out and pulled you to the station and said, here we are. We are ready for you. For those folks who just tuned in and they see my guest here that's sitting with me, but my true guest is, would you once again introduce yourself, title, and why are we talking today, please, once again?
So my name is Yvette Anderson, and I serve on the executive board for Fannie Lou Hamer Political Action Committee.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here today to talk about Juneteenth, Biden Harris, and Black voter outreach.
Okay. Okay. How does that tie in?
Well, I was talking to my granddaughter today about Juneteenth,
Okay.
and I just wanted to see what her sense was in regard to how it impacts us. And she put it plainly that it is our official independence.
Okay.
And we learned that it doesn't mark the official end of slavery, but it does provide us an opportunity to examine and reflect on the entire history, slavery, and how it impacted us and our struggles for freedom.
Okay.
And then in terms of racial equality and civic engagement,
Mm-hmm.
we want to make sure that our opportunity and our history and our voice are a part of the narrative.
Okay. I was just listening, and with the Juneteenth, for those, as we go around the world, I'd like folks to get a little backdrop real quick, and I'm going to turn it back to you, is that the Juneteenth represented the process of what the slaves who did not know that they were free.
Correct?
Would you give us a little tap on how that operated, what happened there, please?
So there were a number of people that didn't get the message that Abraham Lincoln had freed the slaves and ended slavery. So Juneteenth is a date that we have adopted
Mm-hmm.
to provide that opportunity for us to reflect on the history of slavery and to benchmark, if you will, when we got the information, and it was very times for different members of our community.
Yes, 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 yes. And that ties into what we're discussing today, what we're going to talk about today. See, all of those slaves that had not received the information that was operating their lives and going about their lives with the masters, etc., but they had not gotten the message. The message that they was being given was wrong. They were being lied to. So as we are bringing to the world and to the folks with this station operates on truth. And we are so wonderfully happy to have you here to give us the truth moving forward in terms of where we are and what is going on. So let's get into some questions with you, such as, Donald Trump came to a church the past week. And so what was that about? What was he trying to do? And what do you feel that strategy for the church, how was that involved? And us as a community, were we able to benefit from the visit from Donald Trump?
It was the okie doke.
The okie doke.
It was truly the okie doke, Bill. We had a church in the black community that was full of white folks.
Okay.
Primarily white folks were at the church. It was a farce, and there's no real content or policy or outcomes that are going to impact black people positively. So it's important that we wake up, stay up, educate up,
Yes.
look at the facts to ensure that when we are supporting a candidate, that candidate has our best interest.
Yes.
And we know that Donald Trump doesn't. He doesn't have the best interest of women. He doesn't have the best interest of African Americans. And he doesn't have the best interest of the community at large when we talk about the majority of the citizens in the United States.
And when we talk about truth, we as folk, how do we determine if what we're hearing is the truth?
So the Bible says, by their fruits you will know them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to look at what Donald Trump has done.
Okay.
One of the major problems that I see that the Biden administration had to come in and fix was the impacts of COVID and not addressing COVID-19 when it initially showed up in the United States. If we have had thousands of members of our community, and I'm sure, Billy, there are people that you know that we've lost
Oh, yes.
as
Yes.
a result of which was a perpetual effect
Yes.
of the not dealing with and getting a hold of this pandemic that occurred.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Okay.
one. The fact that he's trying to dismantle diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
The textbooks and many of people that follow him are trying to take away the real history. African American history and the contributions that we made are the history of the United States. That's a part of the fabric of this country, and it needs to be celebrated, understood, and taught.
What is the process of the candidate? There used to be a process where you, as a candidate, was not influenced, or the people in the church was not really influenced by persons coming to the church, and the pastors were not really that in favor of the candidates coming to the church and being wanting to receive that flavor. What is your opinion about the church and the political ranks? What is that? How do you feel about that?
Well, we know that Jesus was a revolutionary. So politics and the church often go hand in hand. And for many of citizens, the church is a trusted messenger. That's where they can get trusted information and educate themselves about what's going on and how these policies that are being impacted connect to their daily lives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that we have churches that provide opportunities for candidates to come and speak, and for the leadership of those churches or the political arm of those churches to validate and provide opportunities for the parishioners, if you will, or the members of the church to come in, listen, and then go do their research.
But when we're talking to folks, do the average citizen really do research, or do they depend upon the validity of what they are hearing from that person, that candidate?
Well, I think that when we are talking to and about our younger people, I do think that they are looking at politics, policy, what people are saying through a lens that is not often research-based and verified. We call it in education, we call it peer review. So oftentimes it's important that we are doing our research,
Okay.
looking how candidates have voted, and especially if candidates have had the opportunity to serve as an elected official previously, look at the record.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Trump is calling for the punishing of women who have had an abortion.
Okay.
And Roe v. Wade being struck down is something that he supported. He stacked the Supreme Court. He stacked the federal courts. Trump has gotten convicted of 34 felonies. You cannot go and work for the federal government as a teacher. As in many countries, you can't go to those countries being convicted of felonies. And then you can be president. There's something wrong with that.
When you say there is something wrong with that, when we looked at the positions that Trump was taking and the opportunity that he had to put judges in place. I think there was what, 200 or 300 judges federal that he put together. Supreme Court, he's got that stacked. So what do we do as a people when the Supreme law may be kind of biased now?
Well, what we do is we send Biden and Harris back to the White House. So those opportunities to appoint judges, to replace people on the Supreme Court as a result of what may happen with the Supreme Court opening, that we can continue to make sure that people, black and brown, are getting opportunities, that we continue to fight to restore the protections of Roe v. Wade, that we continue to have a diverse administration, and we know that Biden and Harris, 1 in 5 of the appointees are identified as black Americans.
Okay.
He's appointed the most, Biden has appointed the most black judges to the federal bench and also appointed Ketanji Brown Jackson to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
He signed executive orders establishing an ambitious equity and racial justice agenda, and he's pardoned federal offenses for those that have been convicted of simple marijuana possession convictions.
Yes, yes. There's going to be a big release with those prisoners now. Will they pretty soon? Is that true?
That is correct.
And,
and we want to continue to fight with Biden and Harris so we can fight to have the passage of the John Lewis Voting Rights Act and the George Floyd Freedom and Policing Act.
And I'll do this, throw a little something that I certainly wish that I'd had President Biden fighting for me when I had to pay my student loan.
Oh, my God, yes.
Oh, yes.
So all of us should be happy.
That student don't, yes.
Yes.
He's canceled student debt for nearly 4 million borrowers, cutting the average black borrower's payments in half under the SAVE plan. And now he's fighting to provide relief to more people that have student loan debt. He provided over $7 billion to HBCUs and fighting to lower the cost of HBCUs and double the value of Pell Grants.
Yes.
To give us more opportunity and financial support to obtain a degree in higher education.
And also, he made it so that basically our health care for folks who have diabetes, etc., who have to have insulin. Insulin was costing so much that folks was dying and having to cut back because they couldn't get the insulin because of the high cost.
Because they had to make a choice.
Yes.
They had to make a choice between eating and medicine, and as a result of that, they were unable to afford the cost of insulin, and he's capped the cost of insulin at $35 for seniors.
So President Joe Biden did that.
Joe Biden and Biden-Harris. So we can't forget the Harris part of the Biden administration.
Okay, Ms. Anderson, so seeing how Donald Trump is reaching out to black voters, what is your opinion about his efforts in compared to Biden-Harris efforts in his community outreach?
So I think that he is really insulting the intelligence of the African-American community and our young people. We know that our young people are our greatest dreams, and I don't believe that young people are going to fall for the okie doke of gym shoes and T-shirts and talking about I got black friends, so that shows that I'm not a racist. I think that our young people and black people collectively are way smarter than that.
I have, this is personal, but I have a situation that I can't understand how a person can be a felon, 34 convictions, and say now the black folks will accept me greater, better now that I'm a felon. Can you explain for us that thinking process of how he as a white man can feel by going to jail, getting 34 convictions, being a felon, that now he's saying black folks, he got now more respect with black folks?
So what he's trying to paint the picture is that black people can align with him and his criminal background. However, when we look at the masses of black people, our black people are engineers, doctors, dentists, educators. So the crime that America has tried to create a narrative that black people are the folks that are most ladled with crime.
Yes.
That's a falsehood. That's a
Yes.
false narrative.
Yes. I mean, that's the process of saying, I, as this person, and I want the world to know, again, as the president, as the person who's the ex-president, saying that I now can identify with the black folks because I'm a prisoner. Am I saying
Right,
that?
which is insulting.
Yes.
We should be insulted by him trying to make a parallelism that black people, crime, and now that he's convicted, we are all in the same boat and we have so much in common.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Anderson,
Speak up loud.
this is my killer speaking. One of Billy's guests. So, in your opinion, how do you think President Biden has shown his commitment to black voters versus how, I guess, Donald Trump has shown his commitment to black voters? Seeing how Donald Trump is convicted and have 34 counts, he's a felon. Do you think that? Well, this is a follow-up question. Do you think that Donald Trump is making a comeback?
I really don't. I think he has some sound bites that lack substance, that have no support, and if you pull back the cover, you're going to see what you have is a racist, ill-prepared, and not going to be representative of the United States of America, Donald Trump. He's about the 2% or the 1% of those folks often that are making millions and millions of dollars.
Thank you.
That's who he's looking to protect.
Thank you. And I have this thing that is being stated, and I don't understand why no one is asking the question. And the question that I have is, when a person of that note can say that if I win, it's a great election. If I lose, it was rigged, scammed, and there is going to be a bloodbath. I would like to ask your opinion in terms of who is going to be involved with creating bloodbaths behind Donald Trump not winning.
So we saw
I mean, what is the message
what
there?
Donald Trump did as a result of losing the last election. And the Proud Boys and all of those folks that went and stormed the Capitol, let that have been black folks and brown folks that were up there at that Capitol. Those folks wouldn't have had the opportunity to get into windows and to climb up and tear down flags and get inside the building, because they would have been murdered. Those people would have been killed before that even happened. It's a sin, a shame, and a disgrace and an insult to the intelligence of Americans that Donald Trump wants to say, if I win, the election is good. If I lose, then it's not. He is trying to dismantle the Constitution with the Project 2025. They want to just dismantle and eradicate government and structures of government as we know it.
What is that Project 25?
2025 is a plan, and I think it's over 80 pages, that talks about the plans for dismantling the courts, dismantling DEI, taking away law enforcement rights, not having systems in place for civil rights and reviewing civil rights legislation. It is designed to be a dictatorship, and these United States of America, built on the backs of our ancestors who came over here and established systems and building and helped to build America. It's really a sad day that Donald Trump can even articulate that that's what his plan is.
Can I do this for the family members who are just happen to be tuning in, jumping in, and watching because people told them to check the station, check the program out right now? Would you please reiterate who am I speaking with, please, and what do you do?
So my name is Yvette Anderson, and I serve on the executive board for Fannie Lou Hamer Political Action Committee, and we are 100% riding with Biden and Harris. And
Okay, another question. This is Michaela speaking again. As we
Speak up.
approach
yeah,
election season and with people coming out, getting people registered for voter, what do you think our black people, more so our younger generation, should be thinking about when choosing to either go side with Biden or Trump?
I think that they should
Good.
look at things that have impacted their daily lives. I think that they should look at the fact that the pardoning for federal offenses of marijuana, simple possession. I think that we should look at the fact that Biden signed executive orders establishing an ambitious equity and racial justice agenda. I think we should look at the fact that the loan debt has been canceled for over 4 million borrowers. I think we should look at the fact that $7 billion have been
Wow.
invested in HBCUs. We should look at the fact, they should look at the fact that the doubling of the value of Pell Grants and that Biden and Harris have helped black entrepreneurs start businesses at the fastest rate in 30 years, that the wealth gap between blacks and other Americans has been increased under the Biden-Harris administration, that unemployment it has been at historic lows for black Americans, and that black wealth is up 60% since before the pandemic.
And job opportunities, work opportunities, business opportunities, all have exploded. Uh, uh, people have talked about the wages. You look all across, wages are up. Um, so, what is that question there?
So besides voting and getting our voices heard, what other, I guess, thing that you can think of that can make black people's voices be heard?
I think that we have to educate ourselves around the issues. I think we have to do a deep dive or deeper dive into making a comparison, a rubric, if you will, to put it side by side and look at the things that have affected our wallets, looked at the things that have affected our health.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I really liked that Biden-Harris administration was able to do is a number of us have credit card debt, and sometimes you might forget to pay that credit card, say it's due on September 5th. And you say, oh, dog it, I didn't pay it on the 5th, I was going to pay it on the 6th. They would have a $30 to $50 late fee that was charged. President Biden and the Harris administration reduced those late fees to allow them to charge no more than $8 for a late fee.
Yes. Question.
Okay, so seeing how we got so many young people, young black voters are registering for the first time, what advice can you give them about going in this process of voting, going in this process of choosing who they want to be the next president of the United States? Any advice?
I encourage them to do their research, to look at things that really impact their daily lives, like child care. There's been a cut in black child poverty. It's been cut in half in 2021 by providing families with $300 per month and a $1,400 check. Extending the free health coverage to black women who have given birth from 2 to 12, helping to address black maternal mortality. Fighting to lower the cost of child care, elder care, and preschool. the capping of the insulin, lower health insurance premiums, and brought down the inflation while wages and incomes are on the rise. I think we have to look at those things and not look at gym shoes and gold bars and T-shirts and the things that Donald Trump thinks connect him with our black youth. We won't be hoodwinked or have the okey doke put on us. And I think that's what our young black Americans are going to say loud and clear.
Okay, so seeing how we are just like right in the process of the election process, how do you think that black voters, black young voters, black first time voters should ensure that their voices are heard for the first time?
I think they need to come and listen and ask questions and state what their issues are and get answers to their questions. And I think that once they do that, it's not going to be hands down that when they get those answers, they're going to see how Biden and Harris have delivered for black America.
Since we're going into like the election process and people getting registered for voting, do you think that we'll see a successful future for 2025, 2026 with Biden Harris versus Trump?
Absolutely. Biden Harris is the way to go. Based on their fruits, we will know them. We know what Trump did and what he's done in terms of being a convicted felon. We don't align with that. And the way that we are going to beat him is by going to the ballot box. We know that the stakes have never been higher. Democracy, personal rights and freedoms, and the future of our economy are on the line. And Biden, Harris are the ways that will deliver for black Americans.
You know, I take this moment to say thank you so very, very much. You've just been awesome. You are taking the time to answer these questions from this young lady. And as I spoke, this young lady is part of our future. And real quickly, would you tell her real quickly what you've done, what you just graduated from, real quick?
Okay, so I just recently graduated from Southern New Hampshire University with a master's degree in business as well as a bachelor's degree in communications.
And your conversation today, as we're looking at continuing to uplift our women, our young ladies, etc., you know, you have done a great, great job for our community, for this world, to give them the truth answers. And this young lady that is, again, is being groomed as our future, taking time to speak with her and talk to her and give her these wonderful answers, the directions that you're giving today has just been awesome. You are a fantastic, fantastic young lady, and we certainly take this time from the station's heart to appreciate you taking this time to come on this airways on WHPR, WHPS, and express the feelings from the Biden administration and from. Could you give us your own personal thoughts moving forward? We have about a minute and a half in terms of advice for us, what we have to look for and what we have to look forward to.
So first of all, I want to applaud the young lady because I know if we want to predict the future, we have to create it. Kudos and all the applause to you on this Juneteenth Day celebration. You are making us peacock proud of your accomplishments and the
Peacock
fact that
smile.
you have went and armed yourself with information. You are making the ancestors smile. We have to look forward to the second term with the historic opportunity that we have for the first female black vice president, working together with President Biden to continue to do things that are going to hit us in the pocketbook and help us to have increased wealth, to lower inflation even lower, to continue to extend the free health care, to help small businesses continue to thrive and to create more small business opportunities. We will have an opportunity that we in the media will have opportunities for our youth and our children to learn what real history is and not talking about this critical race theory nonsense that really is history and the truth. We want to make sure that our history and the investments in the Black outreach community continue. And we want to ensure that voters ask themselves and arm themselves with information, doing research, and recognizing how the presidency, the courts, appointments to agencies that impact us, how that's all connected. But I am here today as the executive board member from Fannie Lou Hamer Political Action Committee, and we support, Fannie Lou Hamer supports President Biden and Vice President Harris. We're riding with Biden.
All right.
Thank
Listen,
you.
I want to. Time is out, but I want to thank you so very much for taking this time to educate us and give us this wonderful, great information. And I want to invite you to come back to the Talk Beat Jones show again and talk to us and help us understand.
I would love the opportunity.
Well, I'm going to give you that information, and I'll make sure that Miss Willis and you get a chance to make this happen again, if that's possible. Okay.
We'd love to have her come to one of our meetings. We need that youthful vision and to hear those voices.
Well, again, on behalf of Mr. R.J. Watkins, Mr. Henry Tyler, Miss Willis, and the station staff, we love you, we appreciate you, respect you, and we will be definitely in your corner as time moves on, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and
Thank you.
have a be blessed.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Family, we're out of time. I appreciate you being with us. Want to say goodbye, young lady?
Thank you for having me, Billy.
Yes. Give me your name real quick.
This is Mike Keeler speaking.
Okay. And again, ladies and gentlemen, friends from around the world, you see, we're working on the future on the Talk Beat Jones. Again, I am Billy Jones. Remember, we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to 11. We have a YouTube on demand, TV 33 on demand. You can watch us there, of course, every Wednesday. You can watch us live on the R.J. Watkins page. Family, we're out of time. I got to go. Bye, Dad. You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones.